Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Men Save Your Marriage show. My name is Terry. I'm your host. I did an autopsy on my failed marriage, and now I use the lessons that I learned to coach other men on how to save their marriage before it fails. I'm going to share with you the things I wish someone would have shared with me before my marriage failed. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. This is Terry. I'm your host, as you know, and you just heard the bell. You know what that means. You've just stepped into the ring, and it is time to fight. We're going to fight for your marriage. And today we are going to step into episode number 25 of the show. This is also episode number 5 in the series on mastering communication in marriage. And today we're going to be talking about the silent treatment and avoidance. And I want you to understand why they destroy trust. There's going to be some hard truths that all of us have to hear. I have to face it myself. I did in my failed marriage. My marriage failed partly because of this and what I did. And I want to warn you today. I want to help you today. I want to offer you some understanding to save your marriage. So we're going to dig into all of this good stuff today in mastering communication in marriage, the silent treatment and avoidance, and why they destroy trust. Are you ready? Well, let's get started. So shutting down or walking away might feel like peace. You know, it just feels like there's a peacefulness when you walk away from a situation. Sometimes I think I know I did it to avoid exploding or avoiding letting my frustration boil over. But the truth is, walking away, while it might feel like peace, shutting down while it might feel like peace, the truth is it's poison to your marriage. And in this episode, I want to expose why the silent treatment and avoidance erodes trust and how to break this habit. So we're going to dig into this. As always, I'm going to come at you with just 3 points today. We're going to tap into each one of these points for just a minute or two, and then I'm going to send you on your way into your day. So shall we? Let's jump right in here. Point number one. Number one, silence is not safety. Silence is not safety. You have to understand that. I know it feels like it at times, and I know it feels like just distance between the two of you, and peace is safety, but it's really not. You think stonewalling avoids a fight. You think that silence or avoiding avoids a fight, and the truth is it doesn't. It's actually a wrecking ball, and it's swinging through your marriage right now, and it is destroying your marriage if you are doing these things. Because here's why. See, she's left guessing. She doesn't know, are you mad? Are you done? Are you over it? And all of that uncertainty cuts deeper than any argument. Okay? An argument is one thing, but her not knowing is even worse. And if you know anything about the woman's mind, when you separate, when you avoid, when you step into silence, you're doing it to bring peace to your mind. She cannot do that. Her mind works and works and works. Consequently, her mind exaggerates. Her mind compounds. Her mind maximizes. And in that silence, it is actually that wrecking ball I mentioned, and what's happening is that uncertainty, that not knowing, is cutting her deeper than a confrontation or an argument would have. Research shows that about 85% of divorces, they cite in the divorce documents emotional withdrawal. 85% emotional withdrawal as a factor. And silence is the poster child for this. He just wouldn't talk to me. That's really what it is. It says over and over and over again. It's called emotional withdrawal. When you go quiet, especially after she snaps or she explodes. For example, she says you forgot again, and you go quiet and you don't respond to an accusation or a comment like you forgot something again. She doesn't feel relieved. What she feels is abandoned. Okay? We see her as popping off, as blowing up, and then all of a sudden she should feel relieved because she let that out. And the truth is she doesn't. You see, she feels abandoned, and she feels like you've left her to drown in something alone. okay, because you may have forgot something, because your schedule got so out of whack, whatever the case it is. I worked with a guy, and I had this client, and he would ice his wife out for days after a fight, until she said to him, "I would rather you fight than vanish." And so he tried. The next time he tried, he said, "Look, I'm upset, I'm angry, but I'm here." And it changed everything, because what he was telling her was not that I wanted to fight. You need to know I'm frustrated, I'm upset. Maybe I'm angry with you, maybe I'm angry with myself, whatever the case may be. All he did, Nick just told her, he said, "Listen, I'm upset, but I'm here." And he did not abandon her, because that's what she feels. And I know you don't want her to feel that way, and I know you don't think she should feel that way, but she does, because we like the silence and the peace, even if it's just to collect ourselves, even if it's just to think, even if it's so that we don't blow up and make it worse, because I know that was very often what I would do. It was easier for me to walk away so that I did not make the situation worse. At least that's what I was thinking. The truth is, I was actually abandoning my wife in the moment. That's what was really happening. I was just searching for peace so that I could calm down, so that I could take a moment of silence and think. And what she felt, while I thought was the smart thing to do, what she felt was abandonment. And I want you to avoid that. So the next time you're tempted to shut down, say something, anything. Look, just look at her. Look, I'm pissed. I am really not happy, but I'm still here, and I am not leaving. Something as simple as that could be a complete game changer. So this week I want you to break one silence with something, just as raw and as honest as you can be. Just look at her and tell her, look, you're having one of those heated moments. And I know in these struggling marriages that we're dealing with, guys, I know that you all have those heated moments. And one of those heated moments, I just hope you recall this and realize, I don't want to abandon her. I don't want to abandon her. I don't want to talk. I don't want to fight. Just listen, I am pissed, but I'm still here. Okay. It's not pretty, but it's honest. That's all you got to do. If you do that, just, listen, I'm not real thrilled right now. I don't even know what to say, but I'm still here. I'm not going to abandon you. Okay. Something as simple as those few words could be a complete game changer. And what it does is it keeps her from building her own walls and blocking you out even more, because she's going to feel, if you take the silent path, if you avoid, she's going to feel abandoned. And every time she does, it could breed, what point 2 talks about, and that's resentment. So point number 2, avoidance breeds resistance. When we shut them out, when we don't talk, when we disappear, we are breeding and growing and fostering resentment in her. Dodging the hard stuff, like, I don't know, the bill you forgot, or when she said we need to talk, it doesn't make it disappear. I know you're not hearing about it in the moment, but it doesn't make it disappear. Instead, what it does is it festers in her mind, almost like a splinter under your skin. You get a splinter in your finger or your thumb or something. You've got to deal with it, because if you don't, it's just going to stay there and get worse and fester. Well, that's what's happening in her mind when she said we need to talk and you disappeared. Or when she said, I have a problem, or maybe you forgot something and you just went silent on her. It's just like that splinter, and except in her mind it's festering and it's breeding resentment. It's important to understand she's not nagging when she brings something up. She's pleading for you to step up as her partner and not be a ghost. She needs you to be a partner. What she really needs is she needs for you to lead. And being able just to say, listen, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I'm not happy. I'm not thrilled. I'm pissed. I'm angry. I'm upset. There's part of me, don't be afraid to just tell her and be honest with her. Look, right now, just give me 30 seconds before I just absolutely lose my cool, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here in it with you. That's it, guys. Something as simple as that could be a complete game changer. Okay? Again, she's not nagging when she brings this up. She's pleading for you to step in as her partner and help her. And every time you say later, you're just piling on resentment. And she's carrying that alone while you're off, avoiding, pretending that it's fine when it's really not. Okay? One of the guys I worked with, he'd avoid the money talk until his wife just exploded. Then he faced it, and I finally convinced him of this, and he finally faced it. And he looked at her and he said, look, I've been scared to deal with this, but let's do it. Is it going to be messy? Yes. But out of that, working together, and it was messy, but working together, trust grew between the two of them. It really can work, okay? Avoidance tells her she's on her own. And that's just a slow bleed for divorce or to divorce, okay? So I want you to pick one thing you've been dodging this week. Guys, this is where we lead. This is where we step up. This is where we have, God, they're hard conversations, and I know you don't want to deal with them, but you have to. Otherwise, you're hanging her out to dry on her own, and you need to know this. You don't intend that. You think you're just trying to let it pass until maybe the situation can be rectified, or maybe we have more cool heads prevail, or a new solution presents itself. But what you're really doing is you're avoiding a hard topic. You're avoiding a hard conversation, and what's happening is you're leaving her. She feels like she's being left hung out to dry. Okay, and you've abandoned her. So I want you to pick one thing you've been dodging, one thing you've been avoiding and sidestepping, and you know what it is. It's already in your mind. It's that one thing. Okay, this week you're going to tackle it. Okay. Forgive me, a little sip of coffee there. So maybe her asking about your mood. And you just face it. Just be honest with her. Something as simple, and it doesn't have to be difficult. It does. Just look. I've been off this week. I haven't been quite right. Been a little off kilter. Maybe can we just hash this out? Can we talk about it? It's not fun, but it is fuel for connection. You're here and you're listening to me, and we are 25 episodes deep because you want to save your marriage. The number one thing you need in marriage is connection. And avoiding these things is absolutely the opposite of connection. You're leaving her hung out there. So pick one thing this week, one thing you've been avoiding, and I want you to step into it and just be honest. Listen, I've been putting this one off because I don't know, I don't see a way through, or I don't know how you feel about it, or I'm not even sure how I feel, whatever it is. But I'm here. Let's dig into this together. It's not fun. It won't be easy, and you're going to have to let your guard down a little bit, and you're going to have to be honest with her. But what it does is it provides fuel for connection, and you cannot let resentment stack up. Okay, you can't, and it's resentment that's stacking up in her against you because she feels abandoned. So this week, rip the Band-Aid off. Step into a hard conversation, something you've been avoiding. Step into it with the right frame of mind. Step into it with a good attitude, and step into it honest with humility. Look, I've been avoiding this one because we've never really seemed to have good conversations about this topic, or we've never really been on the same page. We've never, whatever it is, rip the Band-Aid off and dive into it with her, okay? You may not figure it out in the first conversation, and that's okay, but at least you're talking, and at least you're communicating. And what you are doing, again, is you're providing fuel for connection, and watch her respect you for it, okay? All right, point 3, and the final point here, re-engage with courage. Breaking this habit, actually stepping into the hard conversation, stepping into whatever it is you've been avoiding, takes guts. And it's easier to hide than to show up. But that's why it's leadership, gentlemen. That's why you have to do it, to demonstrate and to show leadership. Okay? Start small. It could be something as simple as saying, listen, I've been quiet because I'm stressed. Can we talk? That's it. That's all there is. I've been quiet because I'm stressed. I've been quiet because I didn't have any answers to give you. But can we talk about something? That's all it takes, gentlemen. It's not a perfect speech. It's not meant to be, and it doesn't have to be. It's just a crack in the dam that lets trust flow back into the relationship. Okay? Little things like this can begin to let trust flow. And when she sees you're willing to step into something that she already knows you don't want to talk about, she already knows you don't have the answers, maybe she already knows this stresses you out, and she sees that you're willing to step into it with her, oh wow, that is huge. That is leadership. That is a little bit more trust than maybe she had before. That's also starting to take some of that weight of resentment off of her shoulders. This is massive. And listen, you don't have to fix it all. And I know as men, that's the one thing we want to do, is we want to be able to sit down and have the solutions and all the answers to fix it. You don't have to fix it. Hear me. Listen to me carefully. You do not have to solve it right away. You don't have to solve it at all. You may all solve it together. She may actually have a solution for you. You don't have to solve it. You just have to prove to her that you are in it with her. Let me say that one more time. You just have to prove to her that you are in it with her. That can be everything to begin with. Okay? I had a guy, his wife thought he didn't care because he'd vanished into silence until finally he just said, listen, he said this, Terry, this is what I said. He said, I just shut down. He told her, I just shut down when I'm mad, but I'm working on it. And that was his default response. When they got into a hard thing and it really started to get under his skin and he got mad, he just shut down. It was just easier for him to shut down. Come to find out, it was a response in him long before he met her. That's just who he was, and he brought that baggage into the marriage. And so he just finally said it right out loud. When I get mad, I shut down, but I'm working on it. She didn't need him to be flawless or perfect. She just needed the effort that he was giving. See, consistency rebuilds trust one shaky step at a time. And you need trust, she needs trust, and you guys both need consistency. But you've been avoiding it. You've been putting it off. That's why you're listening to this podcast, because you're trying to save a struggling or failing marriage. So every one of these steps are going to be shaky, and that's okay. Think of it like lifting weights. You know, that first rep, that one's rough, right? You don't know exactly how far to have your feet apart, where my hands should be. But over time, you get a little stronger. You get a little more secure. You get a little bit more stable. And that's what this is going to be. So this week, take a moment where you would usually avoid it. Now that you're aware of it, take a moment and just step into it. And just say to her something as simple as, listen, I've been off a little bit, but let's figure this out. Let's you and I work together on this. It's raw, it's real, and it's the opposite of running. It's the opposite of avoiding. It's the opposite of shutting down. It's the opposite of everything she's seen from you. Okay? She'll see that you're fighting for her, not against her, and that's where healing can begin. All right, before we wrap up, I want to remind you that, even the greatest athletes, even the greatest amongst us need coaches. They've had coaches to push them, refine their skills, and help win. Why? Because no one reaches their full potential alone. If your marriage is struggling, don't go at it alone. Go to the Men Save Your Marriage website, and you can sign up today for mobile coaching, and you're going to get direct, on-demand guidance from me, just like Tom Brady would, a top-tier coach. And I'm going to help you navigate these challenges in your relationship. You're going to be able to reach out to me through messaging, through audio, through video, so that we can connect, and you can get answers and guidance that you may need in the moment when you need it. So again, go to the mensaveyourmarriage.com website and sign up today for mobile coaching. I look forward to hearing from you. And finally, a little wrap up. This week, I want you to replace one silence, one episode of silence with words. I want you to stay engaged. Okay? You need to stay engaged with her. So when you feel that instinct to just shut down, when you feel that instinct to pull away, to just walk away, this is when you need to step into it. Just take one step into it, guys. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just look, sweetheart, I don't have the answers, but I'm in it with you. I don't even know what the solution could be right this moment, but I'm here. Let's talk about it. That's all it takes. Stay engaged. Watch trust flow in and watch her not be resentful of you. All right, guys, finally, follow the podcast. Please share. Give us a 5-star review if you would. We would appreciate that. And then I want you to share this with another man in your life that you know he's struggling in his marriage. Is he shutting down? Is he avoiding the fights? Okay, he could use this same information. Just share with him this podcast, and he and I do the work in his marriage. And you've come along and been a friend. Let's fight for connection together. And here's the final thought, gentlemen, as we head out the door. Silence doesn't protect your marriage. It starves it. That's the message for this week, for this day, for this episode, and for this show. Take this with you into your interactions with your wife today. Silence doesn't protect your marriage. It starves it. That's it for me, gentlemen, and I will see you tomorrow or in the next episode of the Mastering Communication in Marriage series right here on the Men Save Your Marriage podcast. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.